organization is concerned that should the decrease of grain crops such as wheat, oats, and barley continue in the Yampa Valley, that it may negatively impact the cranes. This would be a huge loss for the biodiversity of the valley and for the ecotourism that the cranes generate. In response to this threat, the Colorado Crane Conservation Coalition has established the Crops for Cranes program.
Hi, my name is Barbara Hughes, and today I'm standing in one of our Crops for Cranes fields, which, as you can see, has a really healthy wheat crop. Throughout the world, agricultural lands have really changed. Grasslands, savannas, and wetlands have all been converted to croplands and pasture lands. Many species of wildlife have had to adapt to these changes in the landscape. And today, almost all 15 species of cranes throughout the world rely on agricultural lands for their survival. The greater sandhill cranes that breed in the Yampa Valley, and especially the young of the year, rely on waste grains such as wheat, oats, and barley to provide adequate nutrition for their successful migration to their wintering grounds in New Mexico and Arizona. But agricultural trends have changed significantly here in the valley over the years. Production of grain crops has decreased from about 85,000 acres in the 1940s to only 10,000 acres today. The number of cranes seen here in the valley has also changed dramatically. From 1900 to 1960, as more and more settlers moved to the mountains, crane numbers decreased. In 1973, greater sandhill cranes were added to the endangered species list in Colorado because there were only about 25 breeding pairs left throughout the entire state. Crane numbers have increased slowly and surely since 1973, but greater sandhill cranes are still listed as a Tier 1 species of special concern here in Colorado. We know that for crane conservation to be successful, we have to ensure that farmers don't suffer significant economic losses from having cranes on their property. We want cranes and other wildlife to provide economic and environmental gains to our agricultural lands. To try to assist cranes in their recovery and to help ensure their continued well-being, the Colorado Crane Conservation Coalition met with both farmers and ranchers, multiple environmental and conservation organizations, as well as state and federal agencies over a period of 2 years to gather input and to gain support, and then we developed our Crops for Cranes program. The program successfully launched in 2015 with 2 major goals. The first, and most important, is to provide adequate nutrition and food supplies in the late summer and early fall when the Rocky Mountain population of greater sandhill cranes are all gathering here in the Yampa Valley from Colorado, Wyoming, Montana, Idaho, and Utah. The cranes come here to rest and feed before they continue their migration south to their wintering grounds in Arizona and New Mexico. The second goal of the program is of a more educational nature. We want to provide reliable areas where we can take Crane Festival attendees to observe cranes and witness their behaviors without disturbing the birds and without trespassing on private property. We're always looking for new landowners who might be interested in the program, whether they already grow grain crops or whether they're willing to experiment with a new grain crop. We've developed the program to be flexible enough that we can customize an agreement with each landowner. A contract might involve paying for seed that the farmer is going to plant for the cranes, or it could involve paying market value for the crops that he's harvested and then left in the field for the cranes. These folks welcome cranes and visitors to their land, and we'd like to thank them and appreciate their support for our program.
This wheat field, I believe, was instrumental in bringing in some cranes that ended up nesting here on the property.
The reason that the Crops for Cranes program is so good, it kind of narrows them into a place where they can eat and they know they're welcome.
About a 25 acre plot that we decided to set aside and do this for the crane program. Yeah, especially partnering up with the Crane Coalition, it's just been a good experience, and we're just moving forward.
We've just made a happier habitat for them.